Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Hey, we're coming here with another great podcast. Who knew? Coming here, it's almost the new year. If you're listening to this at a later time, we are, I think, a couple days away from the New Year's Eve. So if you are hearing this early, Happy New Year. It's coming up. It's going to be kind of interesting. Stay safe, wear your masks, all that good stuff. I got some new 3M masks from somebody, Home Depot, actually. That's who it was from, I think it was 3M. But yeah, be careful out there. There's everyone's kind of let their guard down. Everyone's getting the virus. So if you're seeing this years from now, this is the grand coronavirus. Sometimes we have people watching our videos from like 12 years ago. I just got a notification from somebody who was watching a video from 2013 and they're asking me questions about it. And I'm like, that was like 10 years ago. Come on, man. Anyway, guys, go to youtube.com/Chris Voss. You know the drill. Hit the bell notification if you hadn't. Just go there just to be a part of the community. Also, go to all of our communities on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all those great places. See our LinkedIn newsletter. That thing is killing it over there. I think we have one of the larger groups from all of my friends I've seen. I've got them beaten 2 or 3 times in size of our newsletter. Go subscribe to that. Also, go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss and see what we're doing over there. Today we have an amazing guest. As always, we put them into the Google machine and we go, amazing guests, and they just pop up. We invite them to the show, and what do you know? We have another one today. Who knew? Marco Torres here is with us. He is the founder of marketingboost.com. He's helped thousands of business owners worldwide boost sales and scale their businesses so much as 5-fold through the use of incentive-based marketing, I should clarify. He teaches entrepreneurs how to soar sales and marketing through the use of value-added incentives instead of discounts. His Facebook group is home to more than 27 active business owners who are raking in sales with his advice and amazing affordable subscription program. Welcome to the show, Marco. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. One quick correction. It was 27,000 Facebook members. I think you said 27. So 27 wouldn't be too
Did I say 27? I have a cord for the camera that sits right in front of the active. And I was like going like this, doing the dodge. So my apologies. There 27 active. It's growing that fast. It went from 27 to 27,000. Just like
28 pretty soon.
28. There you go. 28, 30 probably. All right. So welcome to the show. Give us your plugs so people can find you on the interwebs.
You bet. No, thanks. Well, what I do is, again, I launched a website 6 years ago now called marketingboost.com. And I guess I could tell you a little bit of a story on how we ended up getting there. Is that a good start?
Please do.
So how we launched this business back in 2017, the end of 2016, was my partners and I own several travel sites, big travel sites, and we had a lot of traffic. We actually launched our travel sites back in 2008, 2009, and that was right after the crash of 2008, and we were focusing on a lot of Mexico packages and stuff. And anyway, long story short, at the early days, we had a number of negative reviews that we couldn't get rid of. And, Google puts you right up on right up on top when you get a negative review. They never go away. So we had to kind of figure out, how do we overcome these, negative reviews so we didn't kill our business. And one of the things that we did was, obviously first improve the issues that we were having, which we did. And then we started offering our clients, an incentive. We said, hey, if you're at a resort in Mexico, Orlando, Cancun, wherever you're at, if you would give us a testimonial video, a selfie video from the resort, from the beach, if you would tell our audience, how great the hotel is, how great our services are, and we would reward you with a complimentary hotel stay. And that took off like a rocket. Before we knew it, we had tens of thousands of video testimonials from happy travelers all over the world, which we've leveraged all over our websites to increase, additional sales, because, you can't really fake a video testimonial from the resort, from the beach, from the pool versus, written testimonials that people often question, are they real? And so these video testimonials and the whole concept of rewarding them for not just putting a a normal testimonial or review, but doing a video testimonial. We rewarded them, and it was just such such an amazing boom of testimonials that we thought this is a standalone business opportunity. So we took our leverage that we had with hundreds of resorts, thousands of resorts that we deal with around the world, and we came up with a plan to help them fill what would otherwise be empty hotel rooms, because every hotel, the biggest challenge they have is they're usually, even the most successful, typically have no more than 70, 80% occupancy rate. So they always have, most of the time, 20, 30% of their rooms go empty. We came up with a plan to help them fill those empty rooms with people in the room that would spend money at the pool, bar, beach, casino, etc. And then we would provide these incentives to business owners to use to grow sales, etc. And that's how the business was launched. We'll get more into the details of this as we go along here, but that's how it was launched and how it became a business now where we have thousands of business owners around the world that use our product.
That is awesome. That is awesome. That's amazing, man. And so you've grown your business. And give us some more details on how you really help businesses expand and scale.
Thanks. Yeah. So what Marketing Boost does, I mean, first of all, what do we typically do as business owners? We're all competing against each other. Most of us have a lot of competitors in our niche, whatever our niche is. If you don't have competitors, you're likely, often in a tough business, because if you don't have competitors doing the same thing you're doing, then you're really, you're a standalone, and that's great. But most of us are competing. And what we end up doing is we figured, our marketing department or some guru comes along and says, well, you should try offering a discount, to compete against your competitors. So we end up finding ourselves competing against price, and everybody's racing to zero. We're all racing to discount, and then your competitor discounts, and then you discount. Before you know it, there's no profit, and we're trying to make it up on volume. But to explain just how bad that is for you, let's suppose you have a product with, your product, for every $1,000 you sell, let's suppose you make a 20% profit. So for every $1,000 in sales, you make $200 in net profit. And then you decide to discount by 10%. So now you've got $900 in sales, and you're making $100 instead of $200, because your costs are the same. Your marketing costs, your product costs, your staffing costs are the same. So now you're making $100 for $900 in sales. And in order to be in the same place you were prior to the 10% discount, you need to practically double sales. You need to get at $1,800 to end up at the same point of $200 net profit. So we teach people, instead of discounting, add value, these incredibly high perceived value incentives into your offering as your call to action, as your closing tool, as a loyalty program, etc., to build that, those your clients have turned them into evangelists for your brand or product. And by giving them a complimentary hotel stay, for example, what we offer is a number of different incentives, but one of our top incentives is complimentary hotel stays in one of 125 destinations around the world, sexy destinations like Phuket, Thailand, Las Vegas, 5 nights in Cancun, 5 nights in Hawaii, essentially, again, 125 destinations in 38 countries around the world that allow for our members to give away these complimentary trips, and everybody wins. The hotel wins by having a guest on the property who's going to spend some money at the pool, at the restaurant, at your room service, etc. The business owner that uses our service wins because they're getting more clients, and the client who gets the certificate, the incentive, is winning because they're getting a complimentary hotel stay, and all they have to pay are the taxes and fees, which run about 20% of what it would cost to book the hotel normally.
That's got to be a pretty good deal, especially in the world of coronavirus, where everyone's kind of hurting for business, and it's kind of put a squeeze on a lot of probably hotels and travel business, right?
Absolutely. And so again, it's a win-win-win for all. And right now, I mean, coronavirus during 2019, rather 2020, was a big hit to the travel industry. 2021 came, and people, their vaccination rates were way up, and people were getting less and less sick, and at least dramatically. And travel was at an all-time high in 2021, and we're looking forward to 2022. I mean, we're seeing a massive amount of usage of these incentives like never before. So you would, although a lot of what the travel with these incentives is local. So, not everybody's jumping on a plane, but there's a pent up demand for travel. People are tired of being locked down, tired of being stuck at home, want to go somewhere. Getting on a plane and all the issues with the masks and whatever can sometimes be, annoying, although people are definitely doing it again. But there's also a high demand for destinations people can drive to. So, boom, these certificates are working really, really well, and they're helping business owners. And then there's also been a huge influx of new business owners around the world that are starting up home-based businesses. People are walking away from the job, they're walking away from the job, they're launching a home-based business of one form or another, and they're really struggling to figure out, how do I stand out from the crowd? How do I be different? We kind of provide that solution.
That's pretty awesome because it's been I've been watching how there's so many new businesses that have been started, so many people that are like, hey, I'm just going to try my own hand at starting my own business, and they need lots of assistance, lots of help, because probably a lot of them, this might be their first foray into entrepreneurship, right?
Exactly. And that's the other thing that we provide is, when you join our Facebook group, for example, at Marketing Boost on Facebook, we have 27,000, almost 28,000 business owners in that group, very engaged with each other. We provide monthly, sometimes bi-monthly webinars, seminars, talks like you and I are having with experts in the marketing world, and are teaching business owners tips and tricks on not just how to use incentives, but on everything else that comes to how do you build your business? How do you build your sales page? How do you build your sales funnel? SEO, email marketing. So we're always, bringing on experts to educate our team, and that's free in the Facebook group. But it's, we tie that in, of course, to our product line, which is add the incentives to go with it and take it to another level.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So what sort of companies do you normally work with or see? Do you work with any companies, or do you try and stay in your niche?
Well, that's a great question. Thanks. I mean, the product is ideal. The Marketing Boost program is ideal for business owners of all kinds, sales managers, marketing managers, marketers, of course, agencies, affiliate marketers. A lot of the small-based business owners that are coming on opening their own businesses these days are what we call affiliate marketers. They're marketing somebody else's product or service, and this our products really help boost that as well. We have everything from realtors. We have a ton of insurance agents. We've got let me give you a couple examples of case studies. I've got one guy that comes to mind. Michael Manziel is. He's made over probably close to $400,000 in additional revenue thanks to Marketing Boost. He's a kind of a quasi between affiliate marketer, multi-level marketer, and he just has a number of different businesses that he operates, and he uses the incentives to help acquire clients, lead generation, and so forth. I've got insurance agent restaurants that use it.
Oh, wow.
I've got insurance agents when they come to mind. I've got a couple of insurance agents, and what they figured out how to do is use the incentives, because in some industries, like the insurance industry and the real estate world, they can't really use an incentive to entice a transaction. They can't say, hey, buy this insurance product and you'll get a complimentary trip to Cancun. They can't do that because there's rules against that for both the real estate world and the insurance industry, for example. But they can use it for appointment setting. So they can, for example, say, hey, if you book an appointment with us and show up for one of the biggest challenges for any direct sales anybody in sales, direct sales or appointment, you book an appointment with somebody and then they don't show up. And so we teach people to use the incentives as a way to reward your prospect for showing up on time for your appointment, or for showing up on time for your webinar. For sticking to the end of the webinar. Let's say you're doing webinars online and doing Zoom calls, and you might say, hey, I'm giving away 3 trips today at the end of this webinar, so stay on to the end. And if you are engaged along the way, answering and questions and asking questions, I'm going to pick 3 winners to win a trip to Las Vegas, Nevada. And so boom, you're keeping that engagement, you're keeping them on, engaged. I've got marketing agencies that use our product dramatically. They provide our incentives to their clients to help them boost sales or help them generate those appointments. Another case study comes to mind is a guy named Brett Jones, who owns a company called New Vision Auto Glass. And just to give you an idea of the different varieties of businesses. So he's in the auto glass industry. They repair and fix, broken windshields and what have you. And that industry is so competitive, they actually provide clients with cash rebates, to go with them versus somebody else. And so they were offering cash rebates successfully. And they switched that to once they got once their installer got to the home and changed the windshield, instead of giving them $100 cash rebate, they might say, hey, if you let us, I'd like to replace your $100 cash rebate for instead a 5-night trip to Cancun. And you get the trip to Cancun and we'll keep your $100. And so they essentially made over $1 million over the last year and a half by swapping the cash rebates for the complimentary incentives that we offer. So instead of giving the client cash, they would, bonus the installer to talk the client into switching out the cash for the rebate for the incentive, and bam, put an extra $1 million in their businesses, in their account. Let's see. Got another guy comes to mind, Alan Guerra. He's an insurance agent, and he uses the incentives to give back first. They go into churches and schools and fundraisers, and they help they help raise funds using the incentives for people to bid on, and like blind donations, to bid on the company. The biggest donation wins the trip to Cancun or what have you.
Wow.
And he would then get, be branding himself as the solution for your financial needs, yet helping the church raise money or the high school raise money for the football gear or whatever it might be, and branding himself. And then when he delivered the certificates to the winners, he's got a chance to sit down and offer them his services, and cleaning it up in that example. And shoot, I've got many, many, many more examples of business owners of all types that use the incentives in one way or another, whether it be upselling, you buy product A, but if you buy product B to go with it, boom, we'll give you a complimentary, hotel stay. So
that's pretty awesome. And it looks like this is good at the hotel cards and stuff are good at 1 million plus hotels. You also guys integrate with a couple different websites that do stuff, ClickFunnels, Zapier, and API.
Yeah, good. Thank you for that question. Definitely. We do show people how to use, and we have a bunch of templates on the site for ClickFunnels and Builderall and Conversion Pros. And we also have an upgraded service where we can build the client sales funnel for them, and including a complete CRM system. But yeah, so far I've talked about the incentives for the complimentary hotel stays. Then we also offer what you just brought up, the hotel savings cards. Now these run from increments of cash credits of $100, $200, $300, or $500. So you can be using the hotel savings cards versus the complimentary hotel stays. These cost nothing to the user who receives it or activates it until if and when they book a hotel. And then they're going to save, those cash credits compared to retail. So compared to booking on Expedia or Priceline.com, they're going to save, depending upon which hotel savings card you gave them, $100, $200, $300, $400, or $500. They're going to save that with their hotel bookings. And the way we do that, the way we work that out is, they're not going to get a $500 hotel night free. What they are going to get is our wholesale rates. We provide our net travel rates, our travel agency high volume wholesale rates are provided directly to that consumer without any markup. So they log in, they're seeing our high volume net rates. They're saving between what they would have paid at Expedia versus what they pay with our net rate. And that can save them up to $500, for example, in one booking, or maybe it would require, depending upon how many nights they're staying and where they're going. If they don't save all 500 in one booking, they'd have a credit left over for the next booking or the third booking or so forth. But eventually they could be able to save all of the credits. And the reason we give them in different increments, 100 to 500, is we teach our business owners that, sometimes the incentive can sound too good to be true. So we teach people, give your clients, your prospects, your lead generation campaigns, use what I call a micro incentive for a micro call to action. If you're asking people to join your newsletter list, you're not going to give them a 5-night trip to Cancun just to join your newsletter. Mm-hmm. That's going to sound way too good to be true. And therefore, instead of improving your conversions, may even hurt, because it's just like, what kind of baloney is this? So it's got to be tied to a bit of urgency, scarcity, and believability with the offer. In other words, if you're selling a high ticket item, the more these complimentary trips sound believable. If you're selling a $50 item, you want to give away a $100 hotel savings card, for example, not a 5-night trip to Cancun. It just sounds too unbelievable. And then we also have restaurant vouchers that we provide. $100 restaurant savings cards that are essentially powered by the entertainment group. This is the company that kind of like the restaurant.com card. So you're going to get coupons, buy one, get one, 50% off at over 100,000 restaurant offers throughout the USA and Canada. So as a Marketing Boost member, you get unlimited access to give away unlimited incentives in each of those 3 categories: the complimentary trips, the hotel savings cards, and or the restaurant vouchers.
That is freaking awesome. What do you've given people resources so they don't have to do discounts? Because a lot of people just go to discounts when they're like, well, I guess we just lower the price to try and get the sales to flow. How is that, a real big mistake? Why don't we delve into that a little bit as opposed to what you guys are doing?
Yeah. Again, the biggest mistake is it really, not only does it devalue your own product or offer, as you try to compete on price alone, it really can make it almost where you end up out of business, because your profit line, your net profit is what it is. You've got costs of marketing, you've got cost of labor, you've got cost of product, you've got whatever your limited net, your net profit is on each sale. And as I mentioned earlier in the call, a 10% discount is something as little as 10% off can end up requiring you to double sales to end up in the same spot. So you want to be able to, if you can include an incentive, as your call to action, with your call to action versus discounting. And sometimes that might mean your own, mixing your own products. What can you throw in as well? What additional widgets or units, or can you set your pricing where, if you buy this today, you're going to get, the famous buy one, get one free. I mean, psychologically, we've learned that a lot of tests have been done and studies have been done that the consumer would prefer to get something added on versus saving 10%, for example, saving 20%. When they feel they're getting something for nothing, when they feel they're getting the buy one, get one free, when they feel they're getting a higher, a higher perceived value, if I pay for 6 months today and get 3 months free of my product or service, or my membership to your product. Give you an example. One member that I had, he launched a business. Actually, he launched it in January of 2021. And it was a business to provide people with tip. He had charged a monthly service fee of about $99 to get to provide them with analysis of when to buy and sell stock, when to buy Bitcoin, when to sell, when to buy cryptocurrencies of all kinds, and all kinds of stock tips and what have you. And he had built up he had a team of experts in India, doing all the research and providing all all these tips and stuff, and became an expert at that. And before you know it, he had, several thousand members paying him $99 a month. Then he went and launched a Marketing Boost campaign with the complimentary trips, where he was said, hey, if you sign up and pay instead of monthly, if you pay for the 6-month in advance membership, you get 3 nights in Las Vegas. If you pay for 5 nights, if you pay for the 12 months in advance, you get your choice of 5 nights in Cancun or 5 nights in Hawaii. and he made nearly $500,000 in additional sales in 4 days.
Wow.
So it's because he had, several hundred people step up and pay the full year. So instead of just discounting his annual rate, instead of saying, okay, instead of $1,200 a year, I'll sell you 12 months for $999. He kept the $1,200 price, but you got the 5 nights in Hawaii, or you got the 5 nights in Cancun, and then boom, he had hundreds of them step up and pay the full annual membership, and he cashed in quite quickly. Now he does that on an ongoing monthly basis. He runs a promo cycle and says, sign up for the annual plan and get a bonus trip, and so on.
This is brilliant because, the one thing I always look at when I sell stuff, and this comes back to the old world business days, is to try and add as much value to a package or deal or whatever I'm selling, trying to add, a lot of value. And sometimes the service-based businesses, I've always made it a point that our companies or teams will provide more value, even if it's not promised. We tend to underpromise and overdeliver. And so, yeah, having a position where you can provide more value to any sort of package you're selling before or after, or you can throw stuff in. Can you use this maybe for customer service problems? Like, sometimes someone's unhappy, or they want a refund, or they want to, maybe you've mangled the package or delivery or service or whatever it is you're providing. Maybe the product got screwed up or something. Can you use this as sort of a certificate you can give them to be like, hey, we're sorry, here's some added value for putting us screwing up, maybe?
Hey, that's a really good suggestion, and it works that way. Absolutely. You could definitely use it for retention programs, keep people from canceling or quitting, resolve problems. We've used the incentives ourselves, and our clients have definitely done that. When inevitably, if you've got a lot of customers, there's going to be some problems with some of them that are not going to be happy for one reason or another. And using the incentive can be like, look, we really apologize for this error. We take full responsibility for it. It was our human mistake, or whatever the problem was. And not only will I fix the problem and make good on the issue, I would like to give you a complimentary hotel stay, here and there, or a $500 hotel savings card just for the grief that we've caused you. The package arrived late or whatever it was. Using one of our incentives it doesn't cost you anything. And so you're not necessarily going in the hole to make this client happy, but you've given them a high perceived value product, and boom. So yeah, that's a great suggestion, and it definitely works.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you definitely want to take and have, because then you're in another loss position. If you're like, well, we've got to discount the product, or we've got to refund a portion of the money because we screwed it up, you can just try and see if that will appease the client, make them happy. And maybe it's a better, bigger picture where they're like, oh wow, thanks, in addition, or whatever. I mean, whenever customers complain, I try and make them happy. It's always amazing to me, even sometimes when they're the most ugliest about it, and they approach you ugly because they don't realize you're going to handle it professionally and nicely, and so they usually hit you pretty hard, and you're like, well, hey, it's cool, man. I've learned, over so many years of business, that just making clients happy, sometimes if it costs you, it pays dividends. And I've had so many people that, they started out with an ugly call, and you're a company to this, and they think they've got to throw around a lot of hate to get a refund or get fixed. And I'm like, no, we'll fix it. No problem at all. That's what we do. And those people will be back another year or two. I've made thousands off of clients that keep coming back, and like, remember that time you were so great about that thing? And I'm like, I remember you yelling at me, telling me how awful I was, because when you first get the call, they go off, and then you're like, hey, it's gonna be okay, man. We're gonna fix you. But I've made so much money by adding value at that point too. And people like being taken care of that way. What more can we touch on in your business that entrepreneurs and people should know about that can utilize it?
Well, first, if you don't mind me putting in another plug for it,
do it.
Just so I haven't covered how ridiculously inexpensive this offer is for Marketing Boost members. It starts at $37 a month.
Wow.
So what we did was completely revolutionary. I mean, the incentive industry is not new. There's been for decades. Many of us have received, a cruise certificate, a complimentary hotel stay certificate before. So the certificate industry for travel is not new. But what we did that made it new was we set it up as a subscription model where you pay a low monthly fee of only $37 a month, and you get unlimited access to however many of these incentives you need, and your client gets for example, when we talk about the complimentary hotel stays, the client pays the taxes and fees to activate the certificate, which run typically $20 to $30 a night, for example, an average for most of the destinations. And then they'll get 18 months. The end user will get 18 months to log in, select the travel dates, and do it completely online. No phone calls to make, no hoops to jump through. The rest of the other part of the industry that we revolutionized is, many of these certificates from our competitors, they're very hard to use. They're designed that way. Many of them require, 60-day advance notice, send in writing your selected travel dates. You can select 2 or 3 travel dates, 90 days apart. They make it essentially almost impossible to use the incentive. What we've done is made it, again, super easy for the business owner to pay $37 a month flat and give away as many of them as he wants. Then we've also made it easy for the consumer who's using the certificate. They activate it, then they can log into their portal, which is powered by redeemvacations.com, is the travel site that fulfills these trips. They log in and they'll have 18 months to select travel dates. They select the date, their preferred travel dates, and based on availability, they're going to see 1, 2, 3, or 4 hotels participating that are available for the dates they want. They select it, and it's just like booking it on Expedia. They get an instant confirmation, no hoops to jump through, no phone calls to make, no sales pitches, no timeshares, none of that, any of the negatives that have been associated with many of this type of product in the past. So easy to use, no hoops to jump through, no gimmicks, no timeshares, no sales presentations of any kind. And they're often going and traveling and using the trips well. So, matter of fact, I know we've got a while to keep chatting about this, but if anybody wants to take action, right? Can I go ahead and plug an
Yes, please.
Specifically for your listeners right now, if you go to marketingboost.com/podcast, marketingboost.com/podcast, you can get 30 days of Marketing Boost for only $1. So it just gives you a full 30 days essentially to give it a test run, give yourself one of the trips, activate one, look at the calendar yourself and see, how you could use it, join the Facebook group, etc. But 30 days for $1 at marketingboost.com/podcast. Now, another way to keep the discussion of ideas here, we talked about using it for customer service issues. All businesses right now, if you don't have a lot of reviews or testimonials about your product or service, the odds of you generating a lot of business are small as well. And the bad part about that is typically most people only bother to write a review when they're unhappy. The only time you're really motivated to go post something on the internet about a product or service is because it sucked and you're pissed off and then you want to go tell the world about it. So the majority of, it's hard to generate the positive reviews from your happy clients. And so what we recommend is you come up with a way especially if you can use automation and set up a good CRM system, which by the way, Marketing Boost does offer as an upsell product. But if you've got a good, email system from your clients, they bought your product and email and SMS, text messaging, et cetera. What we recommend is, after they bought your product or service, give them a chance to use it, send them some messaging, email and text messages, and do a survey. How was it? Did you enjoy our product or services? Did we live up to your expectations on a scale of 1 to 5? How would you rate us? And give their client a chance to respond to you. And if they're not happy, let them vent so that you can immediately jump on it and try to take care of the issue, like we talked about with the customer service situation. But if they are happy, Then you might send them another email saying we're thrilled that you're happy with us. Give us a 5-star review. We really appreciate that. We'd like to ask you to please post a review on the following websites, and maybe even send them multiple links. Please give us a review on the Better Business Bureau. Give us one here on trustpilot.com and one here on google.com. And if you might say, if you post a review on all three, we'll reward you with a $200 hotel savings card or whatever your incentive is. And now you are building your reputation, and you're controlling your reputation management by doing a survey and incentivizing them to plug a review or to add on a video review, or to post the same review on multiple sites. Another way to do it is to throttle. Like we know, one idea that I've taught business owners to do, you get somebody post a negative review on Trustpilot, and if you don't have a lot of reviews coming in, that negative review sits right up on top of Trustpilot. So if somebody's going to look at your company, they see the first one or two negatives, they don't bother to read any more of the positives below. They're gone, and they think, that is a good reason not to do business with you. So if you're doing the survey process and asking people, are they happy? Are they thrilled? And those that are thrilled, you're then throttling where you're going to ask them to post a review. So you need a review now. You need some positive reviews on that Trustpilot page so that you can kind of bury that negative down and have a bunch of positives coming up on top. So you throttle the request, please post a review here on Trustpilot and we'll reward you. Or even if you're not rewarding, just please post a review here. But you're throttling them based on the survey, and you're not just asking everybody for a review. You're asking for the ones that are thrilled, that are ones that are going to be your evangelists for you. Yeah. And those that give you a 2 or 3 star rating, then you want to follow up. What happened? Where did we go wrong? How can we fix it? Then you might throw in, like we talked about with customer service. Can I throw in an incentive? Here's what I'd like to do for you. I want to fix the problem. I want to, send your next one free. I want to give you a complimentary hotel stay in Cancun, just to make up for the fact that, you're not happy today. We want to make you happy. And then after you make them happy, the next order, they're thrilled. Now you can ask them for a positive review, push them to wherever you need it. Better Business Bureau, sitejabber.com, Trustpilot, Google reviews, and control your reputation yourself by doing this. It makes all the difference in the world to be driving and pulling in a bunch of positive reviews for whatever your product or service is.
I'll bet. So what else have we touched on? What else do we want to cover?
That's good. Let me think here for a second.
Unlimited incentives, unlimited complimentary vacation incentives, hotel savings cards. How do those work?
Yeah, the hotel savings cards are really one of the sweetest products out there, because we've got, you give somebody a complimentary hotel stay. And one of the two things are going to go on when you do give them a complimentary hotel stay. There is those fees, the activation fee that needs to be paid. And that can be paid by either the Marketing Boost member or the client. So you can give somebody a completely free complimentary hotel stay, and you can pay in the membership portal. You can, fund what we call fund your wallet. So you can put money in your wallet, and then you can pay the activation fee for your client. Most people don't do that, but if you've got a high ticket item, if you're a business coach and you charge, $12,000 a year to coach your client on how to build and grow their business, you might have enough margin in there that you can afford to pay the complimentary, the activation fee, which covers the hotel taxes and fees. So you go ahead and pay that, and the client, is super happy. So that's an option available. If you use the hotel savings cards, for example, those cost nothing for the member, the Marketing Boost member, other than the monthly membership fee, and it costs nothing for the end user to activate it. The only time they will have any expenses when they actually book a hotel, and they're going to save. So, for example, if I were to go to a Expedia for a 3-night hotel stay in Las Vegas, I might be paying $150 a night to stay at the MGM or what have you, and so it'd be $450. But with my hotel savings card, I might be getting those same 3 nights for $300 and save $150.
Oh, wow.
So as an example, I'm just kind of throwing out an example. That could be, now again, if I spent 7 nights in New York City at the W Hotel, and that might be a $450 to $500 a night hotel stay, and I'm going to spend 7 nights in New York at that rate, the hotel savings card would likely save you the entire $500 on that one 7-night booking. So those are powerful incentives, and they only, you don't spend anything on it until you're ready to book a hotel. So those are cool about that. The restaurant vouchers are pretty awesome. Again, you've got 100,000 offers all throughout the U.S. and Canada, and they'll save you from 10 to 50% off depending upon the offer of the restaurant that's involved. It's an app. You download the app, you plug in your zip code, and you'll see all of the offers available to you within your zip code, which means you can use it in your hometown or you can use it while traveling. You put in a zip code in your new travel destination. You'll see all the offers that you can grab, download the coupon, and walk into the restaurant, show them the coupon, and get your buy one, get 50% off, 20% off, whatever the particular offer is. In our members portal, we provide events like I mentioned earlier, webinars and training, typically twice a month, where we're constantly providing training on there. We also have a whole library of business success stories from past clients that have used Marketing Boost and exactly how they did it. So those are all in the members portal platform to watch previous success story webinars. We have a whole library of training videos on everything about marketing. I mean, in one-stop shop, we're giving you everything from how to advertise on YouTube, how do you advertise on Facebook, how to build a Facebook group. Here's another example, case study. I have one member, we have a lot of members that have used Marketing Boost to grow their Facebook groups virally. I had one member that comes to mind that went from 0 to 10,000 members at his Facebook group in less than 90 days. And essentially, to bring it down to a nutshell, what he was doing was, and this is done by many of our Marketing Boost members, they grow their group by incentivizing members in the group to invite other members. So they would be like, hey, run a contest and say, if you invite other members this week, if you invite a minimum of 20 members, 20 friends of yours to this group, you'll get a chance to win 5 nights in Cancun, or 5 nights in Orlando, or 3 nights in Orlando, or 3 nights in New York, or what have you. So they're incentivizing, they're constantly running these contests to get people to share the group with their friends and relatives and what have you. And if they share it with a group or get people to join the group, then they are entered for a chance to win. So even though as a Marketing Boost member, you can give away unlimited of these incentives, it doesn't mean you want to hand them out like candy. You might, you would think, okay, I'll tell everybody if you invite 20 people to the group, you get a free trip. But that can sound too good to be true, and you're devaluing the incentive. And then it just seems like, well, that must not really be a good incentive if he can just give away that many of them. And so by making it seem scarcity and urgency, this week I'm giving away 3 trips to so when you invite 20 friends to the group, you get a chance to win. And then they can give away those 3, or they could give away more if they felt like it. But the point is, they're making people grow. They're getting the organization and the people in the group to help grow the group by sharing. So that's another idea. Forgot where we were talking about here.
We're going through some of the different things. I see too. There's I joined the group. It doesn't cost anything to join the group. So if people want to get to know you better and get involved and kind of just give it a look-see, they can join the group as well on Facebook.
Yeah, just go to Facebook and search for Marketing Boost Group. The Facebook group is actually called, let me pull that up here. Marketing Boost Official, I think it is. We'll pull it right up.
Yeah, Marketing Boost, value added, incentive based marketing,
Yeah.
27,000 members,
Yeah.
and 27.4 actually. And yeah, it looks really active. People are involved in there. I mean, the posts are all active. Sometimes you go in these Facebook groups and there's nothing going on, but you've got like hundreds of people commenting and involved and engaged. Well, there's 279 comments on just this latest post, and 100 likes. Yeah, so a great place to hobnob with people and share notes, learn the business, and all that good stuff. I also see on the website you can get a free for signing up. I guess you can get a free vacation, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you join the Marketing Boost membership, you can give yourself one to test. So as a member, you can give yourself one. For your clients, you can give them up to one a year, every 12 months. So it can be built in as a loyalty program. So as a member, you can only use one to test it. And the reason for that is our hotel partners, they're really not interested in being a part of a free trip travel club. So they like any other business, they need new blood, they need new prospects and new customers. And so they've agreed to let our members up to, test the program, give themselves a trip, book the dates, stay at the hotel complimentary and use it. And they're agreed to let their members, give away one a year, as long as they're not going back to the same destination. So if you gave a client, if I gave you, Chris, a trip to Orlando this year, then next year I could offer you a trip to Cancun or a trip to Las Vegas or a trip to Myrtle Beach or what have you. But I wouldn't be able to give you let you go back to Orlando every year on the complimentary certificate because, it's not like a free trip travel club or a free timeshare. So they have those rules. There's a few rules I could go over so you understand how this makes sense. The group travel is not allowed. So you wouldn't be able to organize a convention by giving all of your downline or all of your organization a complimentary trip and say, hey, all of you can come visit me in Orlando. We're going to put on a seminar. And so I'm going to use this program and give all of my customers or members or what have you a complimentary trip to group travel together. Group travel is a bread and butter of the hotel industry. So if it's going to be a group, they want those bookings at retail price, and they want to provide food, beverage, and everything else for the group. So they're not participating. These certificates can't be used for group travel. And you find the group is anything more than two couples traveling together. One person's got to be over the age of 21, so they're not looking for children and 18-year-olds or what have you. So one person in the traveling party's got to be over 21. Got to have a major credit card to be able to book the room and pay the activation fee, or debit card, but can't be a cash client. And what other rules are there? It's all listed on the site, the terms and conditions. What else can I tell you? I mean, the program we've been around for a while now. We've traveled nearly 500,000 of these certificate users have used the trips. Let me see if I log in to kind of go over some other typical things that come up. Let's say here, member terms of service, do's and don'ts. So again, we don't want you to offer the incentives to groups. You can't sell these incentives, so it's not a business opportunity where you can sign up for $37 and then start selling the certificates for $100 each or something like that.
Yeah, there's always somebody inventive that does stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah, there's always somebody trying to find a way to ruin a good thing. So you can't sell the incentives because that again would compete with the hotel if they were to be out there as discounted sales. That would be they're not going to want to participate. The hotels want these given away as a bonus to whatever your call to action was. No group travel. Let's see here. We also recommend that promote the certificates be promoted as a couples getaway. Most of the rooms will fit up to 4 people in the U.S., for example, but a lot of the international destinations in Europe, hotels are smaller and they're really designed for couples. And then if they've got children, 3 or 4 adults, They won't necessarily fit in the same room type. So although most of them will allow for 4, we prefer you promote it as a couples getaway. That way, if they can get 3 or 4 people in the room, it's a bonus. It's something special. It's even better, but you're not getting in trouble. The client's upset that they can't bring their kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, most of the time they can bring their kids, no problem. But if you promote it as a couples getaway and then they find out the room does fit 4, they're thrilled. But if each destination can vary as to what type of rooms are available, whether they have just a king bed or whether they have 2 queen beds in the room or what have you. And then there's the group travel restrictions. Let's see. We do recommend you use them for, to give away, obviously to give away the incentives, promote them as complimentary vacations as couples, try one for yourself, give the vacation incentives to staff, vendors or salespersons. I mean, you can use them to create competition for your organization, for your downline. If you're multi-level marketing, you could be using them for the quick start promo, get started in our our network marketing program today. And if you in the first 90 days sign up 10 people in your downline, you're going to get this reward. So you're dangling a carrot that doesn't cost you anything, and you're you're motivating your new recruits to get off the ball and start inviting people. Another way to use this in multi-level marketing is use the incentives to show up for the appointments, show up for the business opportunity meetings, and that kind of thing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. So before we go out, anything you want to touch on before we go?
I guess one last thing would be, again, you sign up for Marketing Boost at marketingboost.com/podcast. Special offer on the Chris Voss Show here. And that means you get 30 days for only $1. That offer is not available to the public anywhere else. So 30 days for $1 Marketing Boost. Then you can give yourself one of the complimentary trips. Even if you were to cancel your membership, you can still use your complimentary trip. What else? Join our Facebook group and continue to learn there. And then if you're starting from zero, or depending upon where you're at in your your product, your service, your business, we do offer a white glove, done for you or done with you service to help you build your sales funnel, to help you build, plug in the Marketing Boost incentives and deliver it in an automated fashion to so as they take your call to action, the incentives that you promised are going out the door automatically. We also have another product we upgrade, which is a CRM. We help you and teach you how to generate unlimited leads without advertising by using a Chrome extension software that we offer that helps you grab leads off of Facebook, automate inviting people to like you, or rather to be your friend, and then start conversations with them about your product or service, offer them the incentives to take action, and so forth. So it's really joining Marketing Boost becomes an opportunity for you to learn all kinds of things in the entire circle on how to grow and build your business. And it's only $37 a month.
That's a great deal. Thanks, Marco, for being on the show with us. We certainly appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Give us your plugs so people can find you on the interwebs, your .coms, and where to look you up.
Yeah. Again, my name is Marco Torres, and it's marketingboost.com, www.marketingboost.com. As a listener to the Chris Voss Show, you can go to marketingboost.com/podcast and get 30 days for only $1.
Awesome sauce.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to my audience for tuning in. Be sure to go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, see everything we're reading and reviewing, all of our videos at youtube.com/Chris Voss, and Goodreads, all the groups on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and all those different places the crazy kids are at. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time.